We'll start with Greg Hansen, Arizona Daily Star.
Hey, Dwayne, your resume is such that you could have got back into coaching almost anywhere at your choosing. How come you chose Arizona?
Well, this is where it all started for me in college. The last 8 years I've been in the NFL, and actually we bought a house in Arizona, the Buckeye area, a couple years ago. So my wife would go back and forth, and every chance I would get, I would always come back, get out that cold weather, and get into this nice weather. So for me, this was just a natural fit. I've been knowing Coach Fish for a while now. We met in 2004, and then we worked together in Jacksonville. So just having the chance to get back in the college game and help him and help this program, I thought it was a nice fit.
Next question will go Michael Lev, Arizona Daily Star.
Yes. Hi there, Coach. You said you met Jed. You met Jed in 2004. You worked with him in Jacksonville. What did you think of this young, ambitious coach when you first encountered him?
Well, a lot of coaches, I think, have the halo effect, and when I first met him and having a chance to get to know him, and then we worked together, I just always felt like he had that halo effect. And I know when we were in Jacksonville, we had breakfast one morning, we were just talking a little ball, and I said, Jed, you're going to be a head coach one day. So when all this came to fruition, I was just real happy to see him get his opportunity.
What does the halo effect mean?
Just guys that are just special. I think guys like Mike Tomlin has the halo effect. I met Urban Meyer when I was a junior college coach at Mount Sac, and he was a receiver coach at Colorado State. It's just something about certain guys that just have that magic to them, and I just felt like Jed has it.
Sure. Pete Carroll kind of gave you your first big break, I guess, in coaching, and your career kind of took off since then. His son is going to be on the staff. Do you remember Brennan from back in the day? What do you think he can bring to the program?
Well, he's a football coach's son, and again, just seeing all of Pete's kids when they were babies, and I'm like, wow, I guess I'm revealing my age now a little bit. But it's cool to see how his career is kind of taking off. His youngest son, Nate, is a heck of a little football coach. So it's just fun to see these young guys just elevating their careers. And again, he's learned from the best, and the best just happens to be his father.
Next question, Troy Hutchison, All Sports Tucson.
Coach Walker, you've been around the Pac-12 since '96 at Cal. How's the Pac-12 evolved since you first started with the conference till now?
Boy, that's a good question. I know the receiver coach at Nevada, Eric Scott, we were together at UCLA, and I would talk to him periodically, and I would ask him that same question, say, hey, has anything really changed in the college game or in the Pac-12, and talking to some of the young guys that are still coaching in the Pac-12, and they say it's really the same. You still got to stop the run. I know the Pac-12, they know how to throw the football, so you have to do a good job from a coverage standpoint. I think you got to be able to play some man-to-man. So I think it's still relative. Even when I was a coordinator at UCLA, when I start really getting into watching more Pac-12 tape, I just still think football is football.
Next question, Justin Spears, Arizona Daily Star.
Coach, you'll now have a chance to work alongside Chuck Cecil in the secondary. What's just your overall impressions of Coach Cecil as a coach, and what do you remember him as a player as well?
Well, I'll start off when he was a player. Obviously, Chuck was a great safety. Balls to the walls, IQ, playmaker. So even watching him and just remembering some of the things that he did as a player, and we want to really implement some of that within our style, working together with the DBs here. We're two veteran coaches. I think the ego part of it, he's has accomplished a lot as a coach. I've been pretty blessed as a coach. So really, we're just going to try to put all of our experience together and invest it into the players that we get a chance to coach. And I just try to help these guys play to their ceiling.
And with Don Brown as the defensive coordinator, I'm wondering if you had a relationship with him prior to Arizona, and what do you think just about his defensive scheme?
No, this is really the first time I've had a chance to spend some time with him. I've watched his defenses at Michigan. Obviously he's a reputable defensive coach. So I'm just anxious to be able to help him and try to help with some of my experience with some of the things that we're trying to do on defense here.
And what players have you talked to in your room? Have there been any communication with some of the guys that are currently on the roster right now?
Yes, I've talked to most of them. Guys have kind of popped in, had a chance to talk to some guys over the telephone, and really just the message is just developing and just trying to help these guys be the best they could be as a person and as a defensive back.
Thank you.
Next question, Jason Shear, Wildcat Authority.
Hey, Coach. I was just wondering, is there a difference in your approach to coaching corners in college versus the NFL?
Well, that's a good question. I really believe this: if you can teach it, they can learn it. And I remember when my first year at UCLA, and I had just left the Washington Redskins, and they say, well, I'm gonna go in with this pro system and these pro techniques, and I'm gonna just try to teach these guys. And I remember Alteron Vernon was a true freshman at the time and played very well. And I was teaching him the same techniques as Sean Springs. So I just think these guys are sharp. I think these guys are smarter than some people may think. And again, if we teach it the right way, I think these guys will be able to get it done.
And then it's probably an obvious answer, but is prototypical corner what you're looking for? What does that look like?
Well, you like length. You always like length. If you want to play a lot of press coverage, you like guys that are long. That's kind of the Pete Carroll method with long corners. But at the end of the day, you want the best corner. You want the guy that can get the job done. So, again, we're going to be looking for just the best football players that can help us win.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Next question, Rich Herrera, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Thank you so much, Coach. You talked about the halo effect with Coach Fish. So when he contacted you about the staff he was putting together, what did he tell you he was trying to do, and how hard did he have to sell you on coming to join him here in Tucson?
Well, I think the cool part is that the two guys that are Hall of Fame coaches, we've had a chance to work for both of them, which is Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick. So just having conversations, I just knew, and plus just knowing who Jed is as a person and as a football coach, it was a pretty easy conversation in terms of what he wanted to do to build this program. So, just being good people, developing, and just doing it the right way. So for me, it was an easy sell personally, because I just really understood with his background and some of the coaches that he has had a chance to work with. I have the same beliefs.
It's an interesting mix of coaches, a lot of veteran coaches like yourself, some young coaches. Do you consider yourself a mentor, and are you excited to work with some of these young coaches and pay it forward for guys that helped you when you got started?
There's no question. I think that's where the wisdom comes in. And I know 25 years ago, when I was a youngster coming up, and I used to hear old coaches say, hey, youngster, pay attention. Now I find myself doing the same thing now. So that's the fun part of being able to just answer questions. And it's not so much of being this great coach. It's just being pretty blessed of working with some great coaches and just having a chance to create and have had all these great experiences as a coach.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Next question, Jacob Minuti, Daily Wildcat.
What does "it's personal" mean? I mean, that's something that's already been said hundreds of times in such a short period of time. I mean, how did that kind of come about, that motto, and what does it actually mean, it's personal?
I know that's something that Jed has talked to the staff about, not so much in depth. I think maybe that's more of a behind the scenes thing with the players and the coaches. But, my opinion and my definition of it is that every day is an interview. We're here to produce good football. And I just think if you're lazy and if you're mentally not strong, I don't think you're going to get the best out of your coaches and out of your players. So I think when we come in to the building, we're coming in with an agenda of trying to do what's best for our football team and what's best for this community to put a good football product on the field. So basically, you just having the edge to be the best.
Next question will go back to Michael Lev.
Yes. Dwayne, you were, I guess, quote unquote, out of football for the last year. What did you spend the bulk of your time doing?
First, it was just good to just get some rest. Over 30 years of just grinding. So I know some coaches, you know, they feel that they're missing out. But for me, it was a chance to reflect. And what I did, I trained like 30 DBs the off season just to keep me busy. And it really was good for me to just reconnect with young people. And I think that was probably the greatest experience for me, to look at this job and say, well, maybe I don't have to go back to the NFL. You know, I'm not too old to where I can still connect and develop young people. And really one of the kids that I trained all summer was Jaden Young. And, you know, we used to always say, man, coach, it'd be great if you can come to Arizona. I says, well, you know, you already have a coaching staff there. I said, it would be fun. I'm here in Arizona, and it's just ironic that I get a chance to work with him. So it's just been real good just to reconnect and to just develop young people, because this is where it all started for me anyway, was in the college game.
Sure. Where did you do that training, and how old were the players for the most part?
Yeah, we had bought a house a couple years ago in Buckeye. So we're right off the 10 off of Verrado, and anywhere from junior high kids to high school kids to junior college to major college, and even some NFL guys, you know, they, you know, would fly in and train. So it was, you know, it was funny. Here's just a quick story. There was this little sixth grader, and it's ironic. I'm teaching this sixth grader the same techniques as a senior in high school. And it was just unbelievable. So it really kind of opened up my eyes with these kids, like, wow, you know, if you can explain it the right way, and if the kid has a skill set, all these kids were really, I'm teaching all of them the same stuff. So that was pretty fun to see where these young kids are today.
What can you take from your time at New Mexico State that you might be able to apply to this job?
Well, that's a very good question. You just have to be resilient. You know, you have to believe in your plan. You just have to stay on the grind, not get so caught up on what you don't have and what other people have. You just have to put your plan together and just grind every single day.
Thank you.
Do we have any? All right. Final question for Coach Walker will be Justin Spears.
From your time in the Pac-12 and coaching, what would you say is the most memorable moment against Arizona or playing in Tucson?
Good one. Good one. It was, and you guys may remember, 2001, we played here and we were behind, and Chris Richard had a pick six. And I don't know if anybody remembers that, but Chris Richard got a pick six and really was the play that helped us win that game.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you, guys.